All right, we're here with our Candidate Cafe panel to talk a little bit about how this process has unfolded and being able to see all of the candidates in this unique format. Gary, let's start with you. What sort of moments jumped out?
Well, with Cory Booker, I mean, when he talked about the Pettus Bridge thing with the story with John Lewis, that was amazing. And I mean, he was so emotional. He actually had a tear come out of his eye. That was pretty amazing. You know, sometimes with this forum, with this breakfast forum, you get to actually see people, you know, with a non-prepared dialogue. It's very good.
Nancy, how about you? What stood out from all of these candidates you saw here at lunch and breakfast?
What stood out was how much I liked them all as people. They had some really good answers. We got sung to by Bill Weld. We got sung to by Cory Booker. Got to see them in a totally different light than you see them on the campaign trail.
Karen, how about a moment for you?
I would echo that. I think that it is extremely important to see these people, not as politicians or candidates or anything, but as real, genuine people. And I love the intimate moments, the stories they had to share with us.
How about Lauren? How about you? Seeing all of these different candidates, who stood out?
It's Bernie Sanders was certainly an interesting one to hear from, particularly because we saw him the week before he went into the hospital and had the opportunity to interact with him and kind of see all of his passion and energy, and then to see a couple days later that he had gone into the hospital for medical issues. But overall, what you really see from these candidates in a forum like this is something that is a bit more personal and far less policy driven, and it really to the points that they made, it's fun to see these people as actual humans.
Yeah, Gary, back to you on this one. What is it about this, sitting down at a table with somebody? I mean, you might get one impression on TV, and it's almost like it's totally different sometimes in this format.
Well, this is so unprepared. I mean, I thought even with the Duval Patrick, when he talked about growing up and the incidents that changed his life and caused him to, you know, to really be a success and grow and then be this politician who was doing great things in Massachusetts. That's really interesting, and you don't get that on the campaign trail stuff.
And Nancy, did anyone surprise you at all? Someone who you thought, you know, gosh, seeing one thing on TV and then another thing in person?
Not really. I guess they all did, because you're so used to their rehearsed campaign speeches, and then you get those intimate moments where you hear stories, or even funny stories, like Deval Patrick when he was talking about bringing his daughter to a 50 Cent concert, and he got backstage and she didn't.
Yeah. That was a unique moment for sure. Karen, what about you? Did anyone surprise you?
I think Andrew Yang is probably one of the biggest surprises, because I don't think the debate does him justice. And to meet him in person and to talk with him in person is just such a totally different expression, totally different person. I felt that about a number of the candidates. But one thing I would say, Cory Booker has always been a person to me. He's never been a political candidate. He's always been genuine and himself. That was very interesting.
One thing that's interesting too is seeing these candidates. Sometimes they order a lot of food, right? And they don't realize that they're going to be. It's like the fork gets this high, and then they're like having to put it down. Lauren, how about you? Did any of that humanity come out for somebody that you didn't expect to see?
It was interesting with Pete Buttigieg, hearing him talk about driving with his dad in a Chevy Cavalier, listening to CCR in the morning on the way to school. Like, things like that are fun, and I wouldn't have expected that a guy from Indiana running for president would harken back to listening to CCR with his dad as moments that he remembers from way back when.